time to review a cartoon. What the heck is this? One is a present, the other is punishment. Okay. Ooh! The Force Awakens! And that is a present. I wonder what's in the other one though. Alright everyone, today we're going to talk about reboots. But not these kind of boots that need to be redone.
Reboots, in the terms of franchises, means you are restarting an old series again to get a fresh new audience. This doesn't mean that you are retelling the same story again. As long as you have the same elements that made the original great, i.e. the characters, the world, and its style, you can do whatever the heck you want with it. For example, you could retell the same story again, but you can tweak it in a few certain ways to take it down to a different direction. Or, if the previous series was open-ended enough, as in there's still room left for much more, you can continue it from there. Of course, there's also the continuity reboot, where you restart everything from scratch and pretends all the old stuff never happened, because, let's face it, nobody ever remembers stuff that happened before. They still do. Of course, messing with a pre-established and beloved franchise will ignite some rage amongst the fans it has. And if this reboot made new fans, well, we got a war on our hands. What I'm trying to say is, there are reboots that people like, some that they don't like, and some that are just divisive, which is one of the ones that we're talking about today, the Looney Tunes show. For those who don't know about the Looney Tunes, first off, how is that even possible? Second, they're about anthropomorphic animals who does crazy slapstick, wacky hijinks, and does all the crazy stuff that old cartoons like to do. They were created by Warner Brothers, who, upon seeing the success of the Mickey Mouse shorts, wanted to have their own cartoons set to music.
No, seriously, if there wasn't a Mickey Mouse, there would have been a Bugs Bunny. Is that not irony or what?
Granted, that might have been an exaggeration, but that's the impression I gotten from reading Wikipedia. First it was Marius Melodies, but it slowly develops into the Looney Tunes, which we know them as. By the way, it was Looney Tunes as in music, not Looney Tunes as in cartoons, but it is the cartoons that we grew up with. And amazingly, they remained on the air for several decades and brought a lot of comedic humor to everyone. However, As those decades went on, their popularity slowly began to dwindle, so they had to reinvent their image. Several times, in fact. First, it was making movies where they make live action with animation. Then they changed the Looney Tunes completely to suit different demographics. Then they made this. Apparently, sitcoms was becoming a thing, and the people at Warner Brothers thought they can do that with the Looney Tunes. Honestly, I don't watch much sitcoms nowadays, aside from The Big Bang Theory, so I don't know if this was the right move to take. I will say, however, that taking the wacky and craziness from the Looney Tunes is one crazy move to take, but we'll see if it pays off.
I am the Beast. Take one letter away and it becomes the best. And today we're going to talk about the Looney Tunes show.
Now, the first thing that I want to point out is that, unlike the other stuff that I've reviewed so far, this show is a slice of life. There's no continuous story arcs to have or any bad guys to beat. It's just the daily lives of the Looney Tunes as they live in suburbia, and the wacky hijinks that ensue.
No!
However, just because there's no story doesn't mean there's no continuity. I mean it. Sometimes plot points from previous episodes get carried over or get mentioned in later episodes. For example, in one episode, Daffy got elected onto the city council, long story, and in a later episode, he mentions it.
I was elected to the city council.
You're on the city council?
Not anymore. It was too boring, so I faked my own death to get off of it. The point is, I know how to win an election.
And in another example, Bugs tried his best to get away from Lola because she was kind of crazy, but later, he's totally okay with her, and they started dating. I'm honestly quite surprised that there is continuity in this show because not many Western cartoons have strong continuity. There's strong continuity within this one. Anyway, since there's no story, let's go straight to the characters, shall we? First, there's Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and they mostly retain their old personalities. Bugs is just as clever as ever, and Daffy is just as lazy, narcissist, and unhelpful as ever. They both live under the same house, although it seems like that Bugs is the one who's paying the bills, and Daffy is just a jerk who's living off him. And before anybody would say any gay jokes about them, they both have girlfriends. Yes, even Daffy. And speaking about girlfriends, that brings us to Lola. Oh, sweet Lola. For those who don't know, Lola wasn't part of the original Looney Tunes cartoons and was in fact made for the Space Jam movie. However, the Lola Bunny in this show is completely different from that. Here, she is obsessive over Bugs, totally clueless and makes mistakes, and has a total Valley Girl persona.
Seriously, Lola in Space Jam was... The reason we liked her was... Why did we like her exactly?
Okay, so the Lola in Space Jam wasn't the best portrayal of femininity when you stop and think about it. But I can still recall that Lola in that movie was still very nice and kind, and seeing her portrayed here as a crazy stalker can upset a few people. However, if you can look past all her ditziness, you might find that she isn't all bad. I think it got something to do with Bugs, as it seems that she is less idiotic around him. And then there's Daffy's girlfriend, Tina. And unlike Lola, who had appeared in a previous Looney Tunes work, Tina was completely original and made for this show, which is kind of odd, since during my research, there was a duck character that was meant for Daffy's affection, but I'm guessing she wasn't very memorable. Tina is alright. She's usually the straight person for all of Daffy's wacky antics and the one who's pulling down to the ground. But my real problem with her is that during the episode where she said she would go out with him, she called him a project and thinks she can change him for the better. This could mean that she sees him less than a person and more of a experiment that she wants to do, but sometimes she does show genuine affection for him, and she isn't all bad. As for the rest of the Looney Tunes, most of them remain the same, but have their wild personalities toned down to suit the modern-day real-life setting. But the person who seemed hit hard by this was Yosemite Sam. In the original, he was a loudmouth, gun-tooting antagonist. Here, he's remarkably subdued. It can throw you through a loop. Another is Gossamer. In the original, he was a monster that chased bugs in like one shot that I can remember. Here he's...
No, it's not homework. I'm running for class president.
What the... One last character that I like to mention is Porky Pig. Now, Porky could already fit in a modern day setting, so not much stuff needed to change for him. However, for some strange reason, Porky's dorkish behavior just annoys the living daylights out of me. Like, I don't know why. I'm not usually like this, but whenever I see him rearranging Bugs and Daffy's pantry, or wanted to go watch paint dry or grass grow, I just want to grab him, pull him in, and... cut! Now, as for the show's presentation, that's not half bad. The animation is smooth, the color lighting is pretty decent. My only real problem with it, though, is the music, or the lack thereof. You see, in large portions of any given episode, you find a shockingly lack of background music. I mean, you'll definitely find some in the more intense or memorable moments of an episode, but for the rest of the time, you'll be left in a off-putting silence. I think that's something to do with the sitcom nature that it's trying to follow, since I don't know many sitcoms that put much emphasis on the background music. You can still enjoy the show, but it, like I said, is still very off-putting seeing it in a cartoon. But one area of the show that doesn't have a short supply of any music is the Merry Melody segment. For some reason, the creators want to have a musical segment in the show where the characters just sing and dance and do a short music video. Usually with characters that doesn't get a lot of focus, and it's probably to make up all the areas that lack music. If you like the songs, you'll see this as harmless. If you don't like the songs, however, you will probably feel that this is a waste of your time. And unfortunately, I have yet to find a song here that I like. So, after everything that was just said, do I hate the show? Not at all. I was just more baffled by all the large changes that are made. While it is as funny as the original cartoons, I still think this is funny and entertaining regardless. It's like what the Nostalgia Critic said during his review on the show. Some jokes were weak, while others hit really hard. I think it's mainly when the show wants to be a bit crazy and remember its Looney Tunes roots.
Final verdict? It's hit or miss. Sometimes it's entertaining, other times it's not. I would recommend to watch an episode or two, but if the show's not for you, that's okay. It's like eating new foods. You're not sure what you're getting into, and you don't know if you're gonna like it or not, but you should be at least glad for trying it.
I am the Beast. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.